Well, good afternoon and welcome back to East Brunswick's J. Doyle Field for Game 2 of our doubleheader of the GMC High School Soccer Tournament matchup. Gordy Deal alongside the head coach of the Rutgers University men's soccer team, Bob Reasso. We have a couple of interesting matchups here. It'll be the number 3 seed East Brunswick against number 6 seed John F. Kennedy, two teams who have done fairly well this season. And you talk about Middlesex County soccer, always a competitive game when you put a couple of teams like this together.
There's no doubt about it. I think Middlesex County soccer, Gordy's been getting better and better year in and year out. They're producing high-quality players, which are doing real well all over the Division I ledgers all over the country. So it should be an exciting match today.
It's East Brunswick at 12-4-1, taking on John F. Kennedy at 12-2-1. John F. Kennedy, to get to the second round, beat Bishop Bar in the first round 5-0. East Brunswick took care of South River 2-0 in the first round of the GMC tournament. A quarterfinal matchup just ahead. I'll tell you.
So am I.
We're in the quarterfinal round of the GMC High School Boys Soccer Tournament here at J. Doyle Field in East Brunswick. John F. Kennedy, the number 6 seed of the GMC tournament, taking on the homestanding 3rd seeded East Brunswick Bears. Kennedy comes in at 12-2-1, East Brunswick at 12-4-1. Gordy Deal alongside the head coach of the Rutgers University men's soccer team, Bob Reasso, set to bring you all this quarterfinal action. We'll set the starting lineups as soon as we have a chance. Kennedy will control. They're in the away dark green jerseys, white shorts, and dark green socks. East Brunswick will defend the goal to our left, wearing all white. East Brunswick with a chance early. This is Pepe with a chance, shot to save.
Not yet. I guess they gave him possession there, actually. So I'll tell you, they came out a little shaky there, and Victor Torres sent Mr. Conduso through, and he had a chance on goal. The keeper did very well to save it.
Starting for East Brunswick in the back, goalkeeper number 1, Brandon Hockman. At sweeper, John Dickinson. Also in the back, number 21, Rich de Guzman. Number 32, Dave Weintraub. In the midfield, it'll be number 8, Frank Pepe. Number 9, Vic Tatara. Number 23, Greg Tharney. Number 20, Dave Eunice. Number 16, Brett Gaffin. Number 10, Tommy Gagumis. And number 5, Joe Condurso. Youngest player on the field. He's just a freshman. For Kennedy, the starting lineup from the back. Goalkeeper is Don Nelson, the senior. Then Bernard Oriel and Ted Takis, the 2 co-captains. Number 9, Rocco Spoon. Number 4, Dan Heimlich. Number 8, John Montesinos in the midfield. Also in the midfield, number 12, Telly Ledoux. Number 5, Steve Karras. Number 15, Jose Pereira. Number 14, Mark Curto. And number 10, John Horsford, will be the 2-men up front. A couple of juniors there and have combined for 32 goals. This Kennedy team can score some goals, and East Brunswick can defend, so this should be a quality matchup.
Actually, Gordy, it looks like East Brunswick looks to be a bit more of a veteran squad, and JFK is a young squad, and East Brunswick's come out very hard in the first moment or two here, and has put pressure on them right away.
Weintraub will play it back to Hockman. Hockman regarded as one of the more talented goalkeepers in the GMC.
Nice punt there, too.
It's Takis for Kennedy. Up to Ledoux. Plays it forward, intercepted by Dickinson. The junior sweeper for East Brunswick. Pepe is taken down by Steve Karras, and East Brunswick will play the free kick forward. Tatara along the left wing, floated in the box. Cleared away momentarily. The shot by Eunice goes wide, and it'll be a goal kick for John F. Kennedy.
Good quality service from Victor Tar. Actually, Gagumis went up real strong, and he didn't get a piece of the ball, but the back knocked it down, and they got a chance off again.
Ball cleared forward by Kennedy. Weintraub gets ahead on it. Now Dickinson knocks it forward to Ledoux. Number 20 is Eunice. It's a game in the air. Eunice controls for East Brunswick in the midfield, just inside Kennedy territory. Taken away by Joe Montesinos of Kennedy and won back by East Brunswick. How long is it from your experience where the jitters leave the team? And normally when the first touch, players get a first touch?
With veteran teams, yes, but I think with young players sometimes it takes a little longer. He was offsides on that play. It was a good call by the referee. Right now what you're seeing is a lot of energy and a lot of hustle and bustle. I think it's going to take probably about 5 minutes to settle into some kind of rhythm. So the match will take the kind of shape it may take as the game goes on.
This is Brett Gaffin for East Brunswick. Now played forward for Joe Condurso, just a freshman starting up front for East Brunswick in this quarterfinal tournament game. Tatara able to flag down that one, but loses it out of bounds. It'll be a Kennedy throw-in.
Actually, they're running Gagumis in the middle of the park and pushing Vic forward, so I've seen it play one other time during the year, and that's what they did then. So I haven't seen it that much. I don't know. Have you seen it? Is that what they're doing during the season or not?
I think for the most part they have free reign. I think they alternate between one another.
Okay, because Vic usually is a midfielder and might project on the next level as a midfielder, whereas Gagumas is known as a striker. So, but he is strong and he's good in the air, and Vic is has a lot of energy, and I'm sure he'll cause some problems up front for them.
The ball gets knocked off of John Horsford, the Kennedy Jr. along the right wing side, and East Brunswick will have the free kick. No score, just underway. 4 minutes into the ball game. East Brunswick clears to the middle. Gaffin can't control, taken by Ledoux. Now played wide to the right side for Steve Karras, who also can't control, and it slides out of bounds down the slope of the far side. Karras plays forward for Kennedy, and out of bounds.
Right now, nobody has settled down yet. It's still a pretty choppy affair. I would look probably for East Brunswick's experience to start taking over a little bit now. If they can get the ball on the ground and make connect some passes, they'll probably settle into a decent rhythm.
What is it about a player like Vic Tatara that makes him the player he is?
Vic is, of course, first of all, an excellent technician. He has very quick feet. He has outstanding pace. He's very elusive. He has ability to beat not only one defender but multiple defenders. And he's an experienced player. He's played a lot of quality club ball. He's played a lot of matches, so he has a good feel for what needs to be done in a game to be successful.
Here's Horsford for Kennedy. Playing it up for Mark Curto. He's got 14 goals on the season. The ball floated into the box. Hockman comes out to make the save.
Curto seems to be pushing forward also. He looks to be real quick and real dangerous. Montesino also looks to be dangerous. They've got a lot of goal-scoring power on this JFK team.
Montesinos took a little poke at Brandon Hockman as he ran by. Nothing called. East Brunswick looks to control. Knocked up for Ledoux, but the ball rolls out of bounds. This field is sloped on this side because of the football field. Helps the runoff with the rain, but it is a certain hazard for the soccer players.
It's a little narrower than you'd like to be honest. You know, I think that's going to make it for a more choppy opening too. You need a little more space in this to really be able to play the game you want the way you want to. Pushing and shoving going on between the boys there.
Getting rough between Vic Tatara and Joe Montesinos, who exchanged holiday greetings. This is Ledoux. Number 15 is Jose Pereira for Kennedy. Greg Thorney lets the ball right out of bounds. It'll be a Kennedy throw-in for Ted Takis. One of the Kennedy's two seniors. He'll come forward and attack. Here's a throw in the box, and Hockman comes out.
Well, if they didn't know before, he's got a nice, decent long throw in, and the keeper does well to control.
Now they'll lay it forward for Tatara, who has a chance. He gets whistled for the offside.
He looked like he was on there, Gordy. You know, he would have been clean. I thought he was on in that situation.
Either way, it'll be Kennedy's ball coming the other way. Still no score. 6.5 minutes into the first half. Bernard Oriole, number 17 for Kennedy. One of the co-captains, a 3-year starter for head coach Ed Boble. Boble now in his 11th season. He's a Kennedy graduate, getting a chance to coach his alma mater. Number 15, Jose Pereira, in the midfield for East Brunswick. Won by Gagumas. Gets it away from Ledoux, and now plays it wide for Greg Thorney. 9 is Tatara. We've talked about how dangerous he can be. Kennedy controls. Montesinos taken out by Gagumas, and free kick for Kennedy.
Montesino seems to be a very industrious player, always around the ball and involved in the action. He's on the ball right now.
This is Takis. We said he'll come forward. This is him now, just outside the East Brunswick penalty box. Serves across to the far side. Now we have an offsides call.
That was a nice play, actually, by the East Brunswick defense. Sensing the service, they stepped up a little bit to draw him offsides.
Brandon Hockman, the junior goalkeeper for East Brunswick. Good long boot deep into Kennedy territory. Here's a run-on for Condurso. Collision on the play. And they play it back to Don Nelson, the senior goalkeeper for Kennedy. He's got 8 shutouts on the season.
You know, on that long punt there, too, it looks a little bit like JFK was, they're a little uncomfortable on balls played behind the defense, and I'm sure Dan Hastings and his team will notice that. They may be able to get some success, East Brunswick, by playing a little bit over the top.
Ball played wide to the near side. Stave Eunice. It'll be a drop kick. Gugumis and Horsford. This is Weintraub for East Brunswick at the midfield stripe. Wide for Condorso, who can't catch up with it. Flies out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Rocco Spoon.
Rocco Spoon, what a great name.
He'll actually pass on the chore to Ted Takis, who fires it down the right sideline. Rocco Spoon, Ed Boble says, is the quickest guy on the team. He has the ability to come forward also, and Spoon has 2 goals this season.
He just demonstrated that a moment ago when he got a quality service, and unfortunately we're off sides, but he likes to get up and down the park, it looks like.
It'll be a free kick for East Brunswick on the foul by Mark Curto. Curto, a junior, 14 goals in the season for Kennedy. And now headed out of bounds by Rocco Spoon, and East Brunswick will get a throw-in. This is Frank Pepe on the far sideline. One of the seniors, also excels in the classroom as well. Here's a service in the box for East Brunswick, a chance for Condorso.
It's pretty much what we just talked about, Gordy. Vic, when he's along the touchline, isolated with one defender, can eliminate him and getting quality services, as you just showed there.
This will be Tatara with the corner kick for East Brunswick, their first of the game. Condorso running around in front of the goal. There's a long, high service by Tatara. Far sideline is Tharney. Nods it forward for Gugumis and cleared away by Kennedy. Good job by Jose Pereira to clear the ball out of bounds for Kennedy. Quickly thrown back in for Tharney. He flips it into the box. Chance for Weintraub, can't control, and takes out Telly Ledoux. East Brunswick whistled for the foul. Here's Horsford. A chance for Kennedy. Plays it forward. Intercepted by de Guzman for East Brunswick. This is Hockman for Dickinson. Along the left side. Takis waiting for it to run out of bounds. It finally does, and he'll take the throw in. Got some good power behind that throw. He gets it up to Horsford, who nods it forward, but it'll be controlled by East Brunswick. Now Horsford looking to make a play and creates a little something for himself. He gets the cross off, and Hockman is there to make the catch. And quickly East Brunswick counterattacks the other way. This is Gaffin. Plays it for Eunice in the midfield. Now forward for Pepe, who's got some real estate in front of him. Pepe across the midfield line being chased by Ledoux. He's got Gaffin open. If he sees him, he does find him. But they're going to whistle Gaffin for the offsides. Good coverage on the play for John F. Kennedy.
Another real close call on an offsides. Gaffin may be a step off. I'm sure the referee has the best look there. You can see where Curto scores goals, though. He has an eye for the goal. He got wide and saw, he might have saw the keeper a little off his line and took his chance very quickly.
Horsford working with Mark Curto for Kennedy. And they're going to whistle Tatara for the foul, and Kennedy get a free kick out of it. Takis plays it forward for Telly Ledoux. He's going to take a long shot and shanks it wide.
Gugumis has pushed forward now, and Vic has settled back into the midfield, which actually I think may be a better combination for him, because Vic's going to have a little bit more of the ball and settle the game down for East Brunswick, where Gugumis is more of a power player. I'm sure he's very good in the air and likes to maybe post up and play as a target player. So this may give them a little bit more control and a better feel in the game.
It'll be a goal kick, East Brunswick. 12 minutes into the first half, 28 to play. East Brunswick with a chance. They lay it forward for the freshman Joe Condorso, who can't catch up with it. Here's Pepe looking to make a play to Gugumis. Kennedy controls. They play it back to Don Nelson, the goalkeeper. Nelson with a relatively short boot. East Brunswick controls. This is Greg Tharney, number 23, working for East Brunswick with some room. Lays it forward. Heimlich gets there and knocks it back to Nelson.
Tharney's a big, strong player. He rode off that tackle well and played a penetrating ball. Unfortunately, the young player could not get to it.
Here's Gaffin for East Brunswick.
That's an excellent ball.
Gugumis plays it forward. Condorso cannot get there.
Narrow field, kept it a real nice pass from being completed, actually. It was a good look by Gugumis.
Condorso, just a freshman, the youngest player on the field, as we mentioned before. He's getting a start because one of East Brunswick's seniors and one of the midfield leaders, Jeff Gagno, have to sit this game out with 2 yellow cards. They lose a lot of leadership in the midfield. Ball played forward by Weintraub in the box. Oriole is there for Kennedy, and he'll let it roll out of bounds, and he'll have a goal kick.
They were trying to target Gugumis there. a little bit over his head. A lot of players were in position. You know, he's looking to knock that down if he can and maybe get a chance off.
East Brunswick, the co-defending GMCT champ. Takis now back for Nelson. As we mentioned in the pregame, East Brunswick beat 14th seed South River 2-0 in the first round to gain this quarterfinal round. Here's Montesinos, flick on for Horsford, who nods it ahead, and it's going to be intercepted by Brandon Hockman, the junior goalkeeper for East Brunswick. Fires it out to Eunice. This is Condurso. Flips it inside for Tatara. Working against Mark Curto. Thorny wins the head ball, but will get whistled for the push-off. Kennedy will have a free kick about 15 yards inside the midfield stripe in East Brunswick territory.
Well, the game's settling in now. East Brunswick is looking to have a little bit more of the possession, and JFK, when they do come forward, it's usually in counterattack situations. But they do have pace and can be dangerous on them.
Montesino plays the ball into the box. Horsford with a chance for Kennedy, can't control. Pepe emerges with it. Now Takis. This stopper, we said he'd come forward, and he's been forward. Cleared out by John Dickinson, the junior sweeper for East Brunswick. Now the throw-in. Ledoux is there. He nods the ball on, but they're going to whistle Horsford for the offsides.
Which can't be done really on a throw-in. I don't know why he whistled. He might have called a push actually inside the box because there should be no offsides on a throw-in.
Even after it was headed on?
Well, I don't know. I thought he was on in that first touch.
East Brunswick clears. Takis and Gugumas fighting for the ball. They'll whistle Gugumas.
I'm very impressed with Horsford's athleticism. He gets up really well, and he's a very combative player. He likes to challenge on every ball he's near.
It's Heimlich for Kennedy. Headed on by Condorso, one back by Takis. And again, they whistle on offsides. So East Brunswick doing a good job of moving out of their defensive third and luring Kennedy offsides.
Especially since it seems like JFK looks to play, you know, a long ball over the top a great deal. They're timing it very well right now.
East Brunswick, a reasonably hot team. 3-game winning streak. They've won 10 of their last 11. 6 of their last 8 games have been shutouts. Controlled by Jose Pereira, who flips it forward. Head ball won by Weintraub. They'll knock it around. Wild scene in the midfield, just a flood of players in the midfield. And they'll get at least 2 players offside, Gaffin and Gugumas for East Brunswick, and Kennedy will bring it the other way.
I saw East Brunswick play early in the year against Westfield for about a half, and that might have been one of the last games they lost. They seem to be a much better side at this point in the season than they were then. Dan does a good job with his team, and if a team is going to peak, this is the time of the year you really want to get them playing well.
This is Brandon Hockman, who will roll it out for Greg Thorny, number 23. Thorny flips it into the midfield. No one there except Kennedy. Telly Ledoux controls for the Mustangs. De Guzman battling Montesinos along the right wing. De Guzman gets there, clears it forward, but one back by Kennedy, and now headed away by Thorny. Now a chance for Horsford. And what do they whistle? Another offsides.
Tough call there. I'm surprised they took an opportunity away from him there. It came off a defender. I'm not one to question officiating, except every game I coach, so I'm not going to say anything.
Kennedy with a good opportunity there, but whistled for the offsides. This is Brandon Hockman, who boots into Kennedy territory. Takis plays it forward again for Kennedy.
Takis has been involved in a lot of JFK's play. You were right, he does like to get forward. He's got a long throw-in. He serves a nice quality long ball, and a very industrious player.
And a good test of his endurance, too.
Yeah, he gets up and down the field, that's for sure.
Here's Takis' service into the box. Montesinos is there. It glances off the side of his head, and he works on it in the corner. Gets it inside. Cleared away by East Brunswick. Bernard Oriole controls, and again, Kennedy is offsides. John Dickinson controlling things from his sweeper spot for East Brunswick, pushing everybody forward.
Tickets is doing a very good job organizing his defense. I think that's 3 or 4 times they've been offsides already, and it's really taken a lot of JFK's offense away from him.
No score in the ball game. About 20 minutes left to play here in the first half. Gordy Deal alongside the Rutgers University men's coach, Bob Reasso, to bring you this quarterfinal action between East Brunswick and John F. Kennedy. East Brunswick, the co-defending GMC champs, tied St. Joseph's last year. St. Joseph's having a tremendous season this year, unbeaten, claimed the GMC Red Division title, and seeded first in this tournament. Takas again knocks it forward for Kennedy. Brandon Huckman is there. The last time John F. Kennedy made it this far in the GMC tournament, they lost to East Brunswick. That was several years ago. Kennedy comes in at 12-2-1 from the GMC White Division. They can wrap up the division with a win against Colonia, a team they've already beaten 7-1. So it appears that Kennedy will win the GMC White division. They've won in a couple of times so far, back in 1986 and in '89. Here's a header by Takas. Ledoux looks to clear, but pops it straight up in the air. It was a fly ball to the infield. East Brunswick plays it back in. A lot of congestion in the midfield.
Yeah, and actually the center of JFK's defense is very, very good. You know, they are flooding some long balls in, and Oriole and Takas are doing an exceptional job. It's a nice center-back combination there for JFK. Both teams are trying to compress the middle of the park, and I think it's coming from East Brunswick playing a little bit of offside trap, and Takas is pushing forward. So you have a compact situation with sometimes 20 players within a 20-yard radius of midfield.
This is Curto for Kennedy. Plays it forward for Hursford. A chance, and Pereira fires it way wide. Actually might have been a cross. Hockman comes out to grab it. Montesino's there, but can't catch up to it.
Yeah, I think he was trying to play it behind the head of the last defender there and let Montesinos run onto it.
This is Heimlich, knocks it forward on the 50-50 ball. East Brunswick controls. It's Eunice up the right wing, intercepted by Heimlich. Dickinson for East Brunswick, plays it back to Hockman. Dumps it off to Greg Tharney. Now into the middle of the field, a dangerous ball, and one there by Ledoux, but cleared away by Dickinson, who left no doubts about that one.
That's right.
When in doubt, clear it out.
A little further over would have been a shot on goal.
A little more than 21 minutes into the first half. No score. This GMC tournament quarterfinal matchup between John F. Kennedy in the dark green jersey and East Brunswick in the home white. Here's a throw in by Pepe to Dave Weintraub. Serves it into the box. And caught there and played very nonchalantly by Don Nelson, the senior goalkeeper for Kennedy.
That's a new thing with goalkeepers nowadays. Nobody wants to catch the ball. Everybody's got to pat every ball down to their feet. Which actually, you know, it's a good idea for goalkeepers to develop that ability. But you know, we like to see goalkeepers catch the ball. You know, as East Brunswick pulled back, he could have very easily rolled out to a back, and if he wanted to steal some more space to go ahead and punt.
Here's Horsford for Kennedy. Plays it blindly into the middle of the field and intercepted by Pepe. This is Joe Condorso, the freshman.
They're both off again. Seems to be a battle of the offside traps today. It's tactically now, both teams need to make an adjustment and make sure they stay on sides because they're wasting opportunities. It looked like Victor Tara was pushing forward since they took Gugumas off to play a little more of a penetrating role.
Well, the offsides calls are likely to change in just a couple of years. We talked about it in the first game of this doubleheader, and I know you saw it firsthand in Italy this summer, the under-17 World Championships. Going to stretch that offside lines eventually down to each 18, where the players will have free roam between the 18-yard lines.
FIFA's trying things right now to try and stimulate more goals in the game of soccer. I think they need to do something. When I was in Italy, it made for a game that seemed very stretched out. Okay, quite often it almost looked like an NBA game where there was a lot of fast breaks going back and forth as a handball. And both teams actually, they might give me a yellow card in that one too. both teams actually would leave a forward posted up on the top of the 35, and that would make a sweeper and a stopper stay back for both teams. I'm not sure if it's going to help the game. You have to have a lot of studies, and you have to watch a lot of games before you can tell what's going to go on there. And he did give him the yellow card.
So the yellow card goes to E.J. Zafirovsky, the sophomore, just in the game for East Brunswick, number 18. The intentional handball.
Yeah, he stepped on for Gagumas, and now Gagumas is back on the park. I'm sure that doesn't bother Dan Hastings too much right now.
High school rule, player gets a yellow card, he must come off. He can enter as soon as the next change of possession, though. This will be Oriole playing it forward for Kennedy. Lofts it into the East Brunswick zone. Nobody there except Greg Thorney. Now flicked on by Gaffin. Played forward by Tatara. Now Kennedy will control. It's Curto for Horsford. Now to Ledoux. Back to Horsford. They work the give and go. Montesinos controlling in the East Brunswick defensive third. Dickinson clears for East Brunswick. It's off Takis' leg. And East Brunswick will get the throw in.
That was actually the best work that JFK has pulled off on the midfield. The only problem is they didn't get a quality service in because he lost a touch out of bounds.
Dave Weintraub for East Brunswick. Plays it up along the left wing. Joe Condurso battling for it. Kennedy wins it. This is Ted Takis, one of Kennedy's two co-captains. Dickinson for East Brunswick wins the 50-50 ball. East Brunswick controls. Tatara will take the kick. Sends it forward. It'll be a race. Can Pepe get there? No, it'll roll out of bounds.
And tactically, Vic's got to make a decision there. And at that point, I actually thought he made the wrong decision. You know, you're looking up the field. You're going to take he's decided he's going to take a long set piece. He really should be looking for Gagumas' head there, who has air superiority over his mark.
Now East Brunswick can't control. It'll be a Kennedy throw-in. I think the last time I heard the term air superiority was during the Gulf War, but you have reintroduced that here.
You know, we just want to add a little war tactical analysis into the show here.
Here's Brandon Hockman with the boot for East Brunswick. No score in this GMC quarterfinal matchup. We're 26 minutes into the first half.
It's nice to see high school playing halves now instead of quarters. I think it makes a much smoother game and then prepares the high school players a little bit better for what they're going to face on the collegiate level.
You know, I still don't understand, too, and Nelson Rodriguez, your assistant, and I talked about it during the first game in the girls' game, is that why are they still not playing 90 minutes? And he said maybe it's still because they're younger players, but you would think at the age of 15 to 18 they're able to run the 90 minutes, maybe even more than some of the older players.
They are capable, but even under 17 ball around the world is played with 80 minutes. So I think they do that just to kind of scale the game down a little bit and not put as much strain on them physically at a younger age group, which I don't think is a problem. I like the idea that they're playing halves, though. I think it allows for more continuity. The players can get in a little bit more of a rhythm. The next thing they have to do is try to somehow convince the referees on a high school level not to blow the whistle so much, and maybe to cut down on some of the substitutions so the player can really get a feel for what it's like to play for a full 80 minutes.
Ted Takis will throw it in on the far sideline for John F. Kennedy. He'll whip it into East Brunswick territory. Horsford with a little bit of a push-off. Gets away with it, but the ball goes out of bounds.
Right now, Takis is probably one of the most dominant players on the field. In a game that has not seen too much offensive flair as yet, Takis has been a very strong performer for JFK. And there he is on the ball again.
So Takis beats Condurso to the ball. It'll be a free kick for East Brunswick. Just inside their own territory with about 12 minutes to play in the first half. Greg Thorney all alone in the center of the field. He'll have to beat John Horsford to the ball and can't do it. They're going to whistle Horsford for the foul. Another free kick for East Brunswick. East Brunswick now has all of its players inside the Kennedy half of the field. Weintraub gets set to serve it for East Brunswick. He drives the ball toward the net. The long grass inside the 18 slows it down, but it rolls out of bounds anyway. Goal kick coming the other way for John F. Kennedy.
It's kind of hard to tell what they were trying to do there. You know, again, they don't put Gagumas in a position where he might be able to use the height advantage he has. Vic made a run across the top of the box, and then he served to the right side. He may have just mishit the ball.
They'll call a push on Dave Weintraub. He pushed away John Horsford. Now Horsford will take the service and drive it at the semicircle atop the East Brunswick 18-yard line. Kennedy controls. It's Montesinos. Now wide for Rocco Spoon, who serves into the box. Out comes Hockman, and he punches it away with one hand. Now we've got a whistle on the play. They're going to call a penalty kick?
They call a penalty kick. There was definitely contact. I don't know if it was enough to warrant a penalty kick, but if you're going to call a pushing foul, as he did inside the box, it's got to be a PK.
Be the first true opportunity for John F. Kennedy to snap a scoreless tie. So they call a push in the box. Kick will be taken by Joe Montesinos, the junior. He's got 16 goals in the season. We talked about him being a good playmaker. And it looks like he will be the one to take the kick, although Horsford now steps forward. Horsford, the team's leading goal scorer with 18 on the season, and he indeed will be the one. So it'll be John Horsford, the junior, against Brandon Hockman, East Brunswick's junior goalkeeper. A couple of underclassmen going at it, the one-on-one battle. About 11 minutes left to play. Horsford, hands on his knees. Now hands on hips, standing at the 18-yard line, straight on from the ball. He waits for the whistle. Horsford against Hockman. Here we go. And he puts it over the top. Cardinal sin for penalty kickers. He put it over the top and split the uprights on the football goalpost, and East Brunswick survives a scare.
One of the things you always try and tell your players is make sure you put the ball on target and make the goalkeeper make a save. You know, there's a lot of pressure on the player taking a shot. There's actually more pressure than there is on the goalkeeper. He's supposed to make the shot, and unfortunately for Horsford, he put it over the top. And definitely East Brunswick dodges a bullet there. They had more of the play, I would say. Not really any dominance, but the penalty kick, a goal there could have changed the whole game.
So momentum East Brunswick. And they're going to rule that here that Mark Curto played the ball before it stopped rolling, so they'll do it again. Montesinos, number 8, handling the ball for Kennedy right now. And they all line up on the 18. And it looks like Dave Weintraub having an injury problem for East Brunswick. They stop the clock.
Well, I'm sure Victor Torres is breathing a little easier right now because he's the one who pushed the player down, or at least the referee thought he pushed the player down in the box. Tough situation. He's a competitor, though, Horsford. He's got 18 goals, so I'm sure he'll rebound from it.
Dave Weintraub being attended to at the East Brunswick 18-yard line. Weintraub, 5'11", 155-pound senior, wears number 32. He's helped to his feet. He's got a brace on his knee, and I think his thigh is wrapped also.
It looks like he might have had the wind knocked out of him, actually. He's trying to walk it off now. I'm sure we'll see him back in action pretty quickly.
They'll bring in Eric Albrecht, the junior, to take the place of Weintraub.
Well, this situation's a little bit too far out to maybe to get a direct shot on goal. I'm sure JFK will be looking to play somebody, maybe clip the ball over the top of the defense. In particular, they're probably going to look for Horsford if they can.
Joe Montesinos, the junior, lining up to take the kick for Kennedy. Where's number 8? Here's the service in the box, and it gets through to Takis, and he kicks it off Hockman, and a collision on the end line, and Hockman is slow getting up.
That was a great ball by Montesino and an outstanding run from Takis. It ran a little bit too far on him, and he had to get, and the goalkeeper did very well to get out there. But a lack of defending concentration on East Brunswick's part. They let Takis run from behind unmarked, and we're very lucky not to be scored on that situation.
So for the second play in a row, another injured player, Brandon Hockman this time, in the collision with Ted Takis.
I like to say they drive that card out every time anybody's hurt. They'll have tire tracks all over the field by the end of the game.
I very well maybe the curse for Brandon Hockman, because the last game I broadcasted here for Channel 8, he was injured too in a game against St. Joseph's, in what turned out to be a terrible loss for East Brunswick, a game they went up 2-0 and wound up losing 3-2. And you cannot afford to do that when you are battling an intra-division rival. And to lose a game that you once led 2-0 is very demoralizing.
And those are the ones that make coaches lose their hair and turn gray like I'm doing right now. We've had our share of tough outcomes like that. I think everybody goes through that. You look at the situation, though, when every time St. Joe's and East Brunswick plays, it's a very, very heated rivalry. There's a lot of passion in the match. St. Joe's is led by some outstanding players, including P.J. Farrell, who's one of the best strikers in the state right now and scoring a lot of goals for them. I'm sure it was a demoralizing loss, but they've come on now. East Brunswick has come on to turn their season into a real fine season. And they do not have to take Hockman out if he can go on. Most of the players, once they go down and they stop the whistle, I think at least in high school ball. I know in collegiate ball, if they stop the game for an injured player, you have to take him out of the match unless it is a goalkeeper. And he looks to be up and about right now.
So the backup goalkeepers for East Brunswick, the sophomore, Chris Angrando, and also Jamie Foreman, who's a junior. So they've got some young goalkeeping cores at East Brunswick, and we'll see who they bring in.
They are going to, yeah, they're going to take him off. Now, I'm not exactly sure of the high school rule. He might have to come off because he doesn't look like he's struggling, and he's walking off on his own power right now.
Well, he is one tough customer, Brandon Hockman. And they'll bring on Jamie Foreman to spell him for at least a while. So now here's an opportunity where Kennedy, on the corner kick, will test Foreman immediately. And if you're Jamie Foreman, how do you get prepared when you're facing a corner kick right off the bat?
Oh, you can really, and I think the situation is the East Brunswick players need to, rally around him right now and at least get this ball cleared.
Horsford lets it go between his legs, but the dummy did not work as Oriole could not catch up to it.
They did get out very quickly, though, and take a JFK offsides. Actually, Gagumas in that situation, especially knowing his goalkeeper just got in the game, probably should have just played that ball 60 yards upfield and take the pressure off his defense, but the offside trap worked just as well.
East Brunswick plays the ball forward. Ball won in the air by Ted Takis, one of Kennedy's two captains. This is Vic Tatara using the body to shield off Jose Pereira, but got whistled for it.
He said he pushed him. I think it's very hard to push somebody when you have your back to him. All he did really was acquire the space around the ball, which you actually should teach a player to do. But the referee saw it otherwise.
Here's Gagumas laying it forward, deep down the left wing. Joe Condorso giving chase, but Oriole will get there. Now Condorso pokes it out last minute, but it goes out of bounds, and it'll be a Kennedy throw-in. Good speed by Joe Condorso.
Yeah, the freshman looks like he's got some wheels, and he's going to develop into a fine player for East Brunswick.
Takos will take the throw-in for Kennedy. Still no score. Kennedy missed a golden opportunity when John Horsford, the team's leading goal scorer, sent a penalty kick over the top. That's been the most dangerous opportunity yet so far.
Some scouting going on here. I see Stan Williston out in the stands from North Brunswick. I'm sure there's a lot of high school coaches watching this game very closely today.
Stan Williston's club at North Brunswick seated second in this GMC tournament. You're watching a matchup of number 3 and number 6. Horsford and Zafarowski get tangled up on the field. This is Telly Ledoux. A good stick, good battle won by Ledoux. And Gaffin controls for East Brunswick, and he's called off by Dickinson, who plays it forward down the right wing. Tatar is not going to be able to catch up with it.
Telly Ledoux has also been a very active player for JFK today.
Takis has some strength behind that throw, and he can really fire the ball.
He's quite an athlete, actually.
This will be Greg Thorney for East Brunswick. Deep in its own territory. Tatar now near the midfield line. Has 2 men on him, and they're going to whistle Horsford for the handball. And East Brunswick will bring it the other way.
Actually, Vic's first touch deceived him a little bit there, and he was fortunate that Horsford handed the ball.
Thorney Floats one into the Kennedy box. A chance for Gagumas, who's played by Oriole. Gagumas working along the left wing. He's got time. Here's a cross. Tatara's open. Gets the left-footed shot off. And it just trickles wide of the net as Nelson rode it out of bounds. And it'll be a goal kick for Kennedy.
JFK was very fortunate there. They sent too many numbers actually to Gagumas. They sent 4 players out there, leaving 2 East Brunswick players in the box. Victor Tar could not hit his ball on target though.
So Dave Weintraub, who limped off the field earlier, now back in the game for East Brunswick. And he replaces Dave Eunice. 24 is Eric Albrecht. This is Weintraub. Tharney plays it forward. Gaffin had a chance, couldn't get there. This is Condorso, knocked out of bounds by Heimlich. Greg Tharney to throw it in. No score. Quarterfinal matchup between East Brunswick and John F. Kennedy. Greater Middlesex Conference Tournament. And another offsides. This time they whistle to Tara. The field is really being squeezed by each club with their offsides traps.
I think they're trying to set a record today of how many offsides can be called in a match. Actually, except for a couple early on, the officials have been doing a pretty good job of staying on top of that play.
Now Weintraub, again down the left wing. It's a foot race between Tatara and Rocco Spoon, number 9 for Kennedy. Tatara now played into the midfield for Tommy Gagumas. Gagumas controls, lays it down the left wing. This is Tatara, looking to get off the cross. He's got some space in front of the no. Knocks the cross, cleared away by Oriole. Tharney unloads. But again, East Brunswick offsides as Kennedy pulls forward.
That was a real good ball by Gagumas, who found Vic wide. Vic got in a pretty good service that was just touched away by the JFK defense. Their 2 center backs, Oriole and Takis, are doing an excellent job of getting forward and keeping East Brunswick offsides. East Brunswick forwards have to stay alert and try and stay on sides if they're going to score some goals today.
Now, in all the recruiting you've done at Rutgers, I know you've seen lots of programs around the state. How much is East Brunswick helped by its tremendous recreation program? And are there similar programs like that around the state?
The best soccer programs in the state of New Jersey consistently, whether it be Kearney, East Brunswick, Westfield, Cherry Hill down in South Jersey, Steinert, all of them have outstanding youth programs with great youth coaches who do a tremendous job of developing players when they're not playing high school ball. And for ourselves, what we try and do, we try and get out and see players play both high school ball and club ball. Quite often on club teams, you might find you have in super teams like the Union Lancers, where they bring a lot of top flight players from all over the state together. So you see them play with great players. Whereas high school ball, you get a chance to see them play in front of bigger crowds and with their peers. So you like to see them play in both environments.
Dom Condorso, the sophomore, wears number 22, checks in for East Brunswick, replacing Brett Gaffin. Still no score. Jose Pereira for Kennedy, cleared away by East Brunswick. Here's Dickinson out of his sweeper spot, lays it forward for Tommy Gagumas, who's got a chance against Oriole, and Oriole wins the battle, and a good job by Bernard Oriole.
That was quality play on both sides of the ball. Victor Tara got a great touch in. Dickinson sent it through to Gagumas, and then Oriole did a great job in a 1v1 confrontation to hold off Gagumas and clear the ball. And again, another offsides goal.
So Dickinson showing that he can come forward and be dangerous from his sweeper spot for East Brunswick. And Ted Takis will play it forward for Kennedy. Telly Ledoux wins the 50-50 ball for Kennedy. And Jamie Foreman gets a touch. Foreman, a junior goalkeeper, has replaced Brandon Hockman, who left after a collision with Ted Takis on the East Brunswick goal line.
Both teams are missing that last touch. You know, a couple of times, and I've seen more of it from East Brunswick, where, you know, they get a little bit of combination going, and that last touch seems to deceive them. That last pass goes astray, so we're not getting the quality chances we should be getting with some of the buildup they're doing.
East Brunswick will get a throw in deep in Kennedy territory. They throw it right into the box to become instantly dangerous, and Telly Ledoux clears. East Brunswick looks to knock it back in. They avoid being offsides this time, and not by much. Here's Dickinson.
That time, the East Brunswick players hustled back, but you needed a ball over the top there if you're going to be successful, and it didn't get over him.
Here's a chance for Tatara. Plays it in for Gagumas, who's got some room, and cleared away by Heimlich.
Next, the ball sent Vic through, a nice cross. Gagumas couldn't get turned to get a chance on goal.
Horsford for Kennedy. Now intercepted by Joe Condurso, the freshman. Kennedy with a chance, but Montesinos offsides by about 5 yards.
Yeah, he's a little too impatient there. East Brunswick is settling in now and taking the match over. They still have to be wary of the counterattack. Dickinson stepped up very nicely to keep Montesinos offsides.
Still no score. Time running out here in the first half. East Brunswick, the 3rd seed. John F. Kennedy, the 6th seed. In a scoreless battle. Kennedy has had the best chance so far. They missed a penalty kick early on, about midway through the first half. Jose Pereira knocks it the wrong way for Kennedy, and that gives a chance to Victor Tara just outside the Kennedy penalty box. Here's a left-footed cross. Wide open is Joe Condurso. Cleared away by Kennedy.
That was a quality pass knocked back on top to the young freshman. I'm sure that might have been a ball that Dan Haston would have liked to see on Gagumas' feet. But the freshman's first touch this season will wind up having a handball, and JFK escapes a real dangerous situation.
Ted Takis will clear it away for John F. Kennedy. Long service into East Brunswick territory. Weintraub against Horsford, won by Horsford. And now Thorny wins, beating Montesinos to the ball. Here's Dickinson. Clears up the right wing. Flicked into the middle of the field by Victor Tara. Now Telly Ledoux with some real estate. Gives off to Horsford, who's got some time. Play it back for Curto. Now Heimlich. Lofts into the box. Montesinos is there. A little indecision on the part by Jamie Foreman, and Montesinos really looking to create some offense for himself, as on more than one occasion this afternoon bumped into the goalkeeper a little bit.
It's okay, a little indecisive movement from the goalkeeper. Once you make that decision, you're going to come out for the ball. He must come out and get it. He was very fortunate, took a good bounce from him.
Joe Condurso, the freshman, flicks on the header. Now the ball for Condurso, who knocks it on to Tatara, who leaves it for Condurso. Back to Tatara in the right corner. And it's cleared away by Bernard Oriole, and East Brunswick will work a goal kick out of this, corner kick rather.
Well, East Brunswick is becoming more dangerous as the half wears on here. The young freshman teaming up with Victor Tara, and some nice balls from Mr. Gaguz.
Aware the time is running out, Tatara gets a quick corner kick off, but they say it's going to be a throw-in instead.
They want a throw in there.
Running out of time. Here's the throw-in, and that's the end of the first half. 40 minutes in the books here at J. Doyle Field in East Brunswick. Still no score between 3rd-seeded East Brunswick and 6th-seeded John F. Kennedy. Coach Bob Reasso, it doesn't really appear that either team got in any kind of a rhythm, but probably have to give the advantage to East Brunswick.
As the half wore on, I thought East Brunswick was becoming more dangerous, and they were doing it by becoming a little more disciplined and not being caught offside by the JFK offside trap. I'm sure Dan's going to talk to them a lot at halftime about making sure they get back, maybe running the forwards back and sending a midfielder through so they can run onto that penetrating ball. But I've been very impressed with the 2 center backs from JFK. They're very organized. They not only organize the team well, they get forward, they play in the offside trap well, because if they don't do that, I'm pretty sure that before the game's over, Victor Tara and Gagumas are going to find some kind of chances on the JFK defense.
So one half in the books here at J. Doyle Field in East Brunswick in this quarterfinal matchup of the GMC soccer tournament between East Brunswick and JFK. No score, second half action coming up. Well, fasten your seatbelts. We've got 40 minutes of tournament soccer yet to come. East Brunswick and John F. Kennedy, this quarterfinal round of the GMC tournament. Still no score between the 12-2-1 Mustangs of John F. Kennedy and the 12-4-1 Bears of East Brunswick. Gordy Deal alongside the head coach of the Rutgers University men's soccer team, Bob Reasso. His team currently ranked #1 in the country. Kennedy defending the goal to our left in the dark jerseys. East Brunswick defending the goal to the right in the home white jerseys, white shorts, and white socks. The best chance of the game so far has come from John Horsford, who missed a penalty kick for John F. Kennedy about midway through the first half. Here's a chance for Joe Condurso. Lays it on to Vic Tatara, who's in close on a goal and it loses his balance. And now Condorso with a chance. East Brunswick dangerous early on. Here's a chance for Gagumas, one-on-one, and he scores! Tommy Gagumas beats Don Nelson, and East Brunswick has drawn first blood in this quarterfinal matchup, and they lead it 1-0, less than a minute into the second half.
Excellent skill and composure by Gagumas. He took the ball down, nice first touch, saw the goalkeeper come, and just beat him. Brilliant skill. Great job of finishing, nice goal.
Brandon Hockman, who was injured in the first half, is now back in at goalkeeper for East Brunswick.
It's exactly what you don't want to see happen as the opposing coach, the team to come out in the first couple minutes of the second half and get a goal and put your side behind.
Here's Frank Pepe now, the senior. Here's Tatara with the chance from 20 yards out and rips it over the top. Good shot by Vic Tatara.
At least Brunswick has come out very determined here in the second half. A nice layoff and a great strike by Vic just over the top.
Well, you know, you talk about that danger zone. And I know you and I have talked about it before. The first 2 minutes of the ball game, the first 2 minutes at the start of a half, the first 2 minutes after you've been scored on or have scored a goal, and there's a perfect example right there. Gagumas gets the goal 48 seconds into the second half.
Well, East Brunswick has come out on fire, and JFK has just not met their enthusiasm yet. They've got to hold on and stay compact and stay organized for this next couple of minutes so they see if they can work themselves back into the match.
I'm sure John F. Kennedy feels at this point the game should be tied at 1-1. John Horsford missed a penalty kick. Kennedy's really only legitimate chance to score so far. They haven't been as dangerous offensively as East Brunswick has.
They seem to have made a tactical switch too. They have Horsford back in the middle of the park now, and Montesinos has pressed forward. We'll have to see if they continue that during the second half.
Chance for Gagumas. Tatara laid off a header for him in the middle, but he couldn't control it. Now Weintraub knocks it out of bounds for East Brunswick, and Kennedy will get the throw in. This is Ted Takis with the throw-in for Horsford. Kennedy tries to control. Pepe scissor kicks it back over his head, but gets whistled for the dangerous play. And Mark Curto controls for Kennedy off the touch from Takis. Here's a cross inside for Kennedy. Pepe has plenty of time to clear it. Now a 3-on-1 for East Brunswick. Here's Tatara. Gaffin's got to be careful. He's near offsides. Tatara will go himself and slots it right at the goalkeeper Nelson, who makes a kick save. And Kennedy dodges a big bullet there.
Nelson came out very well there to cut down Tatara's angle. Actually, the sweeper did a good job. I thought he should have come originally closer to Vic, but he stayed off and took away Vic's passing angle, so he had no other option but to take the chance.
Here's Pepe again for East Brunswick. Plays into the middle and cleared away by Bernard Oriole, one of the senior co-captains for John F. Kennedy. 1-0 East Brunswick. Still plenty of time left. 37 minutes to go here in the second half of this quarterfinal matchup between East Brunswick and John F. Kennedy. Now East Brunswick with the steal. They counter the other way. Ball floated in the middle for Tatara. Will he get there? No, Nelson is there first. Beats Tatara to the ball, and he'll boot it out.
Get under it, White. Get under it.
Here's Telly Ledoux with the flick-on header for Kennedy. Ledoux again. Knocks it into Pepe's chest. Pepe plays it forward for Gagumas. Here's Pepe again along the left wing. Pepe controls, flicks it forward. A chance inside for Gaffin, who beats Nelson, but the ball squirts just wide of the goal to the left-hand side. And East Brunswick now with relentless pressure on Kennedy early on in the second half.
A great ball play behind the defense, and Gaffin took it first time and hit it well and just missed wide.
So it'll be a goal kick for John F. Kennedy, which is trying to organize before they pay too much of a high price. They've already given up one goal, and that's our score as we stand here in the second half. 1-0 East Brunswick.
This might be a good time really for JFK to slow down the game a little bit, maybe to hold a little bit of possession and take some of the enthusiasm away from and the momentum away from East Brunswick right now.
Now Dickinson, Weintraub flicks it forward with his back heel. Pepe for East Brunswick, but knocks into the center of the field where Takis is. Now Horsford back to Takis. They play it forward. Here's a chance for Mark Curto, and it's picked off by Brandon Hockman.
It's a shame, as it was all in the first half. Some good work in the midfield by Takis and Horsford, and the last pass by Curto was not good enough to get a chance off.
Ball is played out of bounds. Horsford couldn't grab it. East Brunswick throws it in. Pepe with the throw in. Tatara can't get it. Dickinson pointing to Hockman to come get it, and he does, and he whips it out to the right flank. This is Greg Tharney, number 23. He plays the long ball forward. Oriole is there. Pepe controls for East Brunswick, center of the field with room. Still has the ball. Takis with the slide tackle. Now a breakaway for Gaffin. Gaffin, the shot deflected. Gagumas puts it in. So East Brunswick does not get whistled for the offsides on the deflection play, and they capitalize on the 2-on-none. Gaffin shoots it, it hits off Nelson, and Gagumas puts in the rebound for his second goal of the game. And East Brunswick, now 5 minutes into the second half, has racked up 2 goals, and they lead it 2-0.
Well, all the JFK players are looking to the referee for an offsides call. We don't have a great angle, so we couldn't tell whether he was or not. But Pepe did a great job of starting that play in the middle of the park. He rode a tackle off and eventually got a chance to put somebody through, and they did a real good job of getting numbers forward and getting one shot and a good follow-up to score the goal.
It's a 2-0 East Brunswick lead. The third-seeded Bears leading 6th-seeded Kennedy by the score of 2-0. Frank Pepe for East Brunswick.
Frank Pepe's having a good match right now. He's been involved in a lot of things East Brunswick has done in the second half.
Steve Karras working with Ted Takis. Horsford plays it forward, and Hockman is there. Hockman boots it forward, and a good one, deep into Kennedy territory. They leave it for Oriole to clear, and Tatara nearly beats him to it. Kennedy remains a little bit unorganized in the back. They're having trouble keeping up with this East Brunswick furious pace.
Well, they're playing some balls over the top and playing balls behind the defense, and that's what you should try and do with a team that is pressing forward and trying to play an offside trap. As long as your players remain disciplined and get back, you know, if you play a ball behind the defense while the defenders are moving up, you're going to wind up in situations you're going to have quality goal scoring opportunities.
Oriole plays it forward for John F. Kennedy. East Brunswick looks to control. Here's Pepe again. We've called his name a lot early in the second half. He's done a good job in the midfield. And here's a flick on for Gaffin. Gaffin controls in the middle of the field and lays it wide for Gagumas, who is called off by Tharney. A chance for Tatara, but knocked out of bounds by Rocco Spoon, the junior for Kennedy.
East Brunswick is definitely having their way right now. If they're not careful, JFK, it's going to be 2-0 real quick.
And a long throw in, cleared away by Steve Karras for Kennedy. East Brunswick wins it back. Here's Gagumas. He's already got 2 goals this afternoon. Ball floated in the box. Volleyed away by Bernard Oriole. A little frantic pace in the midfield now. Here's Horsford coming the other way for Kennedy. He's got room and in great speed to boot. Ball played in front. Here's a chance, but another offsides call.
That time it looked like 21 kept him onside. Dickinson stepped up, but the Guzman was keeping the man onside, and the referee blew the whistle, though.
Great chance for Mark Curto, but he is whistled for the offsides. Kennedy loses another opportunity. They trail East Brunswick 2-0. Here's Frank Pepe.
One of the problems Kennedy's having, Gordy, is every time they do get a player free in the middle of the park, nobody's coming to him to try and link up to interpass a little bit. Everybody just seems to be running away and only giving the man one option.
Here's Horsford for Kennedy, their leading scorer with 18 goals this season. Karras trying to control and saves him from going out of bounds. Now they whistle a dangerous play there, but
no real need to.
No one was really near him.
There was nobody near him, and he should have been allowed to play that ball there.
So tough break for Steve Karras, who lost his footing near the sideline, but was able to keep the ball in bounds. They whistle him for the dangerous play, and Dave Weintraub will play it forward for East Brunswick. Weintraub also left the game earlier with an injury, but is back in. Same for Brandon Hockman, the goalkeeper, who was spelled by Jamie Foreman for a little while, and Hockman back in, as is Weintraub. Ted Takis plays it forward for Kennedy. This is John Horsford, number 10 in the midfield. Knocks it off of E.J. Zafarowski, the sophomore for East Brunswick. He's got a yellow card in the ball game. Kennedy outnumbered defensively, and Hockman recovers for East Brunswick.
The long balls they're playing over the top are not threatening East Brunswick at all. East Brunswick doesn't look to be playing as much of an offside trap as they were in the first half.
Here's Takis. Throw in by Tatara. Here's Gugumis. Cleared away again by Takis. Controlled by Zafarowski, center to field. Poked away temporarily by Ledoux. And a chance for Tatara. And in a foot race with Rocco Spoon. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a Kennedy goal kick. Now into the game for East Brunswick, number 24, Eric Albrecht, the junior, who replaces Dave Eunice. Change that, he replaces Tommy Gugumis.
Dangerous not to be fronting Vic Tatara there on that goal kick. If he mishits that, the ball's going to go right to Vic. We usually like to see somebody front that man on top of the box so you don't give him an opportunity in case of a miss kick.
And we saw that earlier in the first game of our doubleheader here, the East Brunswick girls against the Bishop Bar girls, where Bishop Bar's goal kicks were continually won by East Brunswick, who did not mark up. Here's a chance for Kennedy, but about 2 players off sides, among them Telly Ledoux.
And Montesinos, who saw the line, he was in good position to see the line of East Brunswick players going forward. He's trying to gain too much an advantage. He should have ran back with them and then cut forward.
Kennedy has been back on its heels playing defense for most of the second half early on. We're about 10 minutes in. East Brunswick scored 2 goals in the first 5 minutes of the second half. That's where we stand. EB leads John F. Kennedy 2-0 here in this quarterfinal round of the GMC Boys High School Soccer Tournament. Gordy Deal alongside the head coach of the Rutgers University men's soccer team, Bob Reasso. Here's Horsford with a play forward from Takis. Now it's Takis back for Horsford and a chance. And another offsides call. Well, that give and go looked like it might have beaten the offsides trap of East Brunswick, but the official didn't think so, and East Brunswick will bring it the other way.
I think he might have called somebody off sides all in this side of the park, which he shouldn't do. He was not involved in the play, really. At this point in the game, you have a 1-goal lead. I guess East Brunswick does this all the time. Excuse me, 2-goal lead, but I guess East Brunswick does this all the time, but I think it's a very dangerous way to live. Sooner or later, if JFK can keep their composure, they're going to get behind the defense.
Ball booted forward by Hockman. Ledoux heads it backwards, and that creates a chance for Vic Tatara along the left wing, being chased by Rocco Spoon. Will he get there? Tatara gets the service off. In the middle for Zafarowski, who can't come up with it. And the ball is cleared away by John F. Kennedy.
That was a great service by Vic. I thought all the East Brunswick players took improper routes to the goal. They came directly on the goal instead of drifting away as he was coming on and getting good, diagonal runs into the box, which gave them their best chance of scoring.
Tommy Gugumis back in the game, replacing Zafarowski for East Brunswick. Now here's the chance along the right wing. And another whistle. So another East Brunswick opportunity is thwarted. Takis plays the forward for Horsford. Kennedy with a chance. It's Horsford against Albrecht in the midfield. Here's a service knocked away by Tharney. Here's Weintraub. Little misread there. They give Kennedy the ball in the defensive third. Chance for Horsford, cleared away by Dickinson. And another offsides call. One thing East Brunswick coach Dan Haston has to be pleased about is that the core of his defense returns next year. Goalkeeper Brandon Hockman, just a junior. John Dickinson, the sweeper, and a fine player, just a junior. Rich DeGuzman, a junior as well. So they do have some good people back. And Joe Condurso, who we saw a lot of in the first half, but not here in the second half, has some good speed up front. And he looks like he can be a good player as well.
I was very impressed with Condurso. He did a good job. Like you said, he showed good speed, a pretty good tactical sense of the game, and should wind up to be an excellent player for East Brunswick.
Eric Albrecht will get whistled for jumping in, and Kennedy will bring the ball the other way. Here's Takis' service and a chance up front for Montesinos. But it's cleared away by Greg Thorney.
Excellent play by Thorney there because he was through. Montesino was through on a real nice ball by Takis. Excellent tackle.
And the official is going to stop the clock.
I hope my trainers at Rutgers aren't watching this game. They're going to be asking us for one of these little go-karts to ride on the field all the time with.
They're awfully quick with a go-kart. I'll say that much. It's out there quick, and they're going to follow him down until they have a word with him.
I think he wants to walk off, but he's going to walk off. It's like bringing in a relief pitcher from the bullpen.
Montesinos waves off the golf cart as it heads to the other side, and more tire tracks across the field.
I think what's one of the things that occur in the second half, Cordy, if you look at the rosters, East Brunswick in critical situation is a veteran team. And this is a good growing opportunity for JFK being put in this kind of pressurized environment, because East Brunswick's upperclassmen, Gugumas, Victor Toro, are taking the game by the throat and dictating the pace of the game right now.
A little bit of a discussion on the sideline between the official and John F. Kennedy head coach Ed Boble as to, I would imagine, one of two things: whether or not Montesinos has to leave the game.
I'm sure that was it. He probably said, "Why did we stop the clock?" He was ready to, continue play.
So Montesinos will come out of the ball game. He'll be replaced by Tan Hong, the junior, for Kennedy. East Brunswick looks to put the ball back in play. About 28 minutes left to go here at J. Doyle Field in East Brunswick, and a good hard tackle by Ted Takis to win the ball back for Kennedy. And we'll see if the Mustangs can amount anything. Here's a cross from Curto, but cleared away by East Brunswick. But right there in the midfield is Telly Ledoux. Here comes East Brunswick racing forward with the offsides trap. Takis with a chance. Dickinson there and plays it back to Hockman. So Takis showing that he's going to come forward a little bit more now, down 2-0.
Takis has had an excellent match, and he's pushing himself forward more, trying to get involved for his team. He is a senior, and he's trying to take the situation into his own hands, and you have to respect that.
So a brief stint for John F. Kennedy's Tan Hong, who comes out of the game. Joe Montesinos, the junior, back in for Kennedy. Now Dickinson for East Brunswick. Gugumas with the header. Heimlich for Kennedy. Knocks it forward. Kennedy looking a little more disciplined on offense. They're not getting whistled for offsides as much, and they are going to call Steve Karras for pushing off, and East Brunswick will get a direct kick. 2-0. East Brunswick leads John F. Kennedy here in this quarterfinal round of the GMC tournament. East Brunswick, the co-defending champs. There's a ball served deep into Kennedy territory. Here's Gugumas on the header. Cleared away by Takis.
Takis and Gugumas playing a little head catch there.
Dickinson for East Brunswick. Being chased hard by Mark Curto. Dickinson controls, now serves, up the left wing.
He's done a very good job of organizing the defense all day long. He's quite organized, and he's got his back four operating as a unit, which he must do.
Here's Horsford for Kennedy. He leaves off in the midfield for Heimlich, who is taken down by Tommy Gugumas. He gets whistled for the foul. Kennedy will have a free kick about 15 yards inside East Brunswick territory, and they play it forward for Curto. Curto with 16 goals in the season takes a shot, and another offsides call. It's Montesinos again, so the East Brunswick defense stepping forward. Actually, Thorney was the last man up. He almost kept Montesinos off onsides, but just a yard offsides for Montesinos, and East Brunswick will get a free kick out of it.
JFK doesn't look to be playing with really a central player. Both Montesinos and Curto are both splitting and playing wide. It might not be a bad tactic for them right now to try and push Horsford a little bit more forward from the midfield and exploit the space in the middle of the park.
And with his great speed, too, anytime they beat that offside trap, he is likely to create a good chance for himself with his tremendous speed.
And he's laying very deep right now. You know,
Yeah.
as the game goes on, if they push Takis up a little bit and press Horsford forward, have him come from behind still, but as they run forward, they might be able to slip him behind the defense a little bit.
Here's Pepe for East Brunswick, won by Horsford. He controls and plays back for Heimlich. Same situation. Here's a ball floated. Dickinson is there to guide it for Brandon Hockman. Now he whips it up the left side. Pepe has trouble controlling it. Now regains possession. It's for Weintraub. One too many touches for Weintraub and loses control. Dickinson clears.
Whenever their defense gets in trouble, Dickinson's always there to take control.
Dickinson wins the head ball. Here's Horsford. Got some room in the midfield. Working on the left side. They dump it in for Montesinos, who's got a chance, but Thorney is there, and he drives it out of bounds.
Well, he's got the long throw, and let's see if he can get something started off this.
Takis with some great range, gets
Excellent
out the
throw.
one wood, fires into the box. There's Hockman there. Goes up and makes the catch. You know, Hockman is one of the smallest players on the field, only at about 5'6", but he can jump and always has excellent position on the field. Here's Horsford battling in the middle. And now Takis with a chance. He leaves it forward for Montesinos, a chance for them. And a slide tackle by John Dickinson clears the ball away. Ball is still loose. And now I think they're going to whistle a trip. There was a trip on Steve Karras. We'll see what they whistle.
Good play again, started by Takis. Takis getting forward, slipping Montesino through. Montesino took too long to get the chance off, though.
So what they probably whistled here was a dangerous play, I would think. The only reason they could give unless it was an obstruction, an indirect kick inside the box. So a chance for Kennedy. East Brunswick forms a wall in front of Brandon Hockman. Takis joins the wall from Kennedy.
Every time Takis gets forward, JFK is dangerous.
Horsford and Ledoux are standing wide open at the top of the box. Now here's a chance, and a ball is shot and deflected over the top of that East Brunswick wall, and it'll be a corner kick for John F. Kennedy.
It was actually a good shot by Montesinos. It was ticketed for the goal, and it was deflected over the line for a corner kick. I think they need to continue to push Takis forward. Every time he gets forward, he's dangerous. And I thought Montesino did a good job of staying on sides that last time, but, you know, it was a little slow pulling the trigger.
Here's Montesinos with the corner kick. Long to the far side for Takis, who gets a head on it, and Hockman comes out and makes the catch. Kennedy doing a good job of crashing the goal, and now they counter. And Tatara on the counter is trouble for Kennedy. He controls, sends the ball to the middle of the field for Gagumas, who lays a nice pass down for Pepe. Pepe's got some room. He's beat by Rocco Spoon, though, and Kennedy controls, poked free by Telly Ledoux. East Brunswick recovers momentarily, and now it's Weintraub playing it forward, and they're going to get Gaffin for offsides on the wing.
The battle of the offside refs. Actually, Gagumas had great vision there. A nice bit of work by Vic. Knocked it back at Gagumas. Gagumas was able to play the ball through to Pepe. I've been very impressed all day long with Gagumas' touch and his passing ability and his vision.
Here's Albrecht with the flick-on header for East Brunswick, but it goes out of bounds, and Kennedy will get the throw in. It's 2-0 East Brunswick, leading John F. Kennedy. Quarterfinal action of the GMC tournament. 2-0, some coaches say, the most dangerous score in soccer. You take that side?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Sometimes your team will relax a little bit at 2-0, thinking they have the game in hand. And if the other team comes back and gets one goal, of course they get the momentum and the enthusiasm, and it changes the game completely.
A long, high throw deep into the East Brunswick box. This time, Hockman cannot come up with the Ted Takis throw.
He's thrown to the same area twice now, and he's throwing too close to the goalkeeper. I'd like him to see that ball, throw that ball a little bit further out, where you want to get it out where the goalkeeper has to make a decision. If it's in that 6-yard box, he's going to come out and get it. And Hockman's done a great job so far of coming out and dominating his box.
And another throw in by Takis. This time he whips it on the ground. I think he might have heard your advice. And it's again poked out by East Brunswick. Some good battle going in front between Dan Heimlich and Brandon Hockman, the goalkeeper. Here's a header chance by Telly Ledoux, and it's saved by Hockman. There's some good pushing and shoving going on. Now a chance for Dickinson. He's got a one-on-none. Gaffin nearly off sides, and now JFK regains the numbers. Dickinson plays it forward. And now Dickinson regains again. He takes the shot but knocks it wide.
Actually, Gaffin was offside, but the referee couldn't catch up with the play. That's one of the reasons why it's nice to see a referee and two linesmen. A linesman in that situation would have been further forward. JFK is pressing the issue a little bit now, again, by I think one of their men of the match, Takis, who's constantly involved in their play. The long throw-ins, a little bit of flick on, a good header by Ledoux. Unfortunately, just not enough power to get it by the goalkeeper.
Now here's a chance for Tatara, who rips one over the top. Bernard Oriole with the coverage for John F. Kennedy. It'll be a goal kick for the Mustangs. Just under 20 minutes left to play in the second half. East Brunswick leading Kennedy 2-0 on a pair of goals by Tommy Gagumas, both coming within 5 minutes of the start of the second half. Here's Horsford for Kennedy, just inside the midfield line in East Brunswick territory, and he rolls it out of bounds. It'll be an East Brunswick throw-in. Brandon Hockman rolls it up for Rich DeGuzman. DeGuzman controls with time, now plays it forward. Gagumas can't control, now regains control after he steals it from Rocco Spoon, plays it forward in the box for Gaffin. Gaffin and Heimlich in a foot race. Gaffin comes up with it. And they're going to whistle Heimlich for a foul.
Heimlich a little bit too aggressive there. He had the man under control going away. He really need to foul him.
Greg Thorney will come up and provide service for East Brunswick as Gaffin gets waved off and heads into the box. Here's the service. Nelson is there, and a header by Gagumas. And he collides on the play with Ted Takis, and they're going to whistle Gagumas for running into Takis, and Kennedy will get the kick.
That's a good call. Gagumas went over the top of Takis. That's a nice confrontation with two of the better players on the park today.
And certainly if you want your offensive player to create a foul and try and make a chance for himself, you want it to be in the opposing third of the field where a direct kick won't hurt you.
Yeah, without a doubt, Cordy. You do, though, like him not to foul, though, in that situation, go straight up, because you don't want to waste a goal-scoring opportunity. You'd hate to see him, put that one in the back of the net and then lose your goal because of a foul. But Takis is a tough fella. He's hard to get over unless you're going to take a little bit of his body on the way up.
Dickinson leaves it for Hockman, the East Brunswick junior goalkeeper. Now wide for Thorney. Up to Albrecht. Good tackle by Jose Pereira for Kennedy. Now Kennedy controls. They leave it for Telly Ledoux. Tries to flick it by his defender. Goes out of bounds, and Frank Pepe will get the throw in for EB. A win here for John F. Kennedy, which does not look likely at this point, would be the furthest they've ever gotten in a tournament. Here's a chance for Telly Ledoux, but he is ridden off the ball by Rich DeGuzman. Good defensive play by DeGuzman, and East Brunswick counters. This is Gagumas with a chance. Has it poked away by Horsford. Good speed by Horsford and good ball ability, but no one to help him out, and Dickinson regains. Now it's Horsford hustling back to get the ball. Horsford very much in the thick of things, as is John Dickinson for East Brunswick.
He's done a good job all day long, actually, being around the ball, getting involved. Sometimes he's played some quality penetrating balls where his people have been off sides, but he's very combative, he's very quick, and he's got good technical ability.
This is Mark Curto, Kennedy's second leading scorer, number 14. There's a chance for Gaffin. Pops it up high in the air. Rocco Spoon against Vic Tatara, one-on-one. The high bouncing ball. Tatara looks to leave a chance. Had the right idea. Here comes Gagumas. He's got 2 goals already. He leaves it for Gaffin. He's got a left-footed shot, but poked it first with his right foot and knocked himself off balance, and the shot goes wide to the left.
Starting off the play, Vic Tatara did a very good job using his body to get possession of the ball. Ball played to Gagumas. Gagumas then attacking the one central defender, allowing Gaffin to go wide left. Gaffin goes wide left. He plays him through. Unfortunately, he was not able to get a quality shot on goal.
Here's the Guzman, wins the header for East Brunswick. This is Frank Pepe, number 8, one of the seniors, providing some solid leadership. Albrecht now can't handle it, and a chance for Montesinos. It's Montesinos against Dickinson. Will Dickinson use the tackle? No, he contains for now and lets his teammates catch up. Now the tackle, and he wins it cleanly. He takes out Montesinos, who is slow getting up, and East Brunswick counters. They leave it in the middle for Dave Weintraub. Now won by Takis, who's dangerous. Here comes Kennedy again. Horsford with a chance, takes a dive in the box, gets no Academy Awards for that one. And East Brunswick controls. This is Weintraub. Knocks it forward for Tatara, who had a chance, but a good play by Rocco Spoon. And here comes East Brunswick again. 2-on-2 opportunity, but the ball doesn't get by Bernard Oriole. Takis plays it forward.
With Takis creeping forward and trying to get into the JFK attack, it's putting a lot of pressure on Oriole right now, dealing with East Brunswick's counterattacks. And they still have Vic, Tatara, and Gaffin pressing forward.
Here's Weintraub for East Brunswick with time, holding it perhaps a little bit too long, and now he's going to have to play it back to Brandon Hockman. The Weintraub complaining he didn't get any help. Here's Gaffin, poked away by Telly Ledoux. The ball will spin out of bounds, and it'll be an East Brunswick throw-in. Just about 14 minutes left to play in the second half. East Brunswick with a 2-0 lead. Dave Eunice checks back in for East Brunswick. He's just a junior, as does the freshman who we saw a lot in the first half, Joe Condurso. He replaces Brett Gaffin, and also coming off is Dave Weintraub. So throw in for East Brunswick. Tatara kicks it back over his head. And Takis clears for Kennedy, and it goes out of bounds.
East Brunswick has just done better today with their chances. JFK has gotten a lot of opportunities to get into the attacking third here in the second half. But as we said earlier, they're just missing that last pass or that quality shot on goal. And East Brunswick, when they've gotten forward, has been very deadly with their chances.
Vic Tatara gets whistled for the offsides. Takis plays it forward for Kennedy. They need goals, they need them in a hurry. They trail 2-0 to East Brunswick. Here's Heimlich in a foot race with Tatara. Makes a nice slide tackle to win the ball back. Good hustle by Vic Tatara, now working on 2 defenders himself. And they're going to call a dangerous play on Heimlich. And East Brunswick will get an indirect kick out of it. Tatara plays it forward down the wing for Gaffin. And they'll call a push off on Gaffin, and Kennedy will bring it the other way.
You know, they had a sustained period of pressure, JFK, and as a coach, as long as you're creating chances and you're putting pressure on the defense, you don't really need to change your formation or make moves. You just want to keep working and try and get a goal. If the game starts flowing in the opposite direction, as it seems to be doing now with East Brunswick, it's time that JFK should make some kind of tactical adjustment, maybe press Takis more forward than they have been to try and get back into the ball game.
Here's a chance for Kennedy on the direct kick. They float it up, and it sails out of bounds. So a squandered opportunity for John F. Kennedy on the free kick, and it'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. East Brunswick leading it 2-0 with about 12 minutes left to play in the ball game. And you have to wonder at what point John F. Kennedy's going to make the move and try to reduce that 2-goal deficit and get in the ball game. We haven't really seen Takis come forward or John Horsford, the team's leading scorer, as much as I thought we would at this point in the game. Is there a certain time that you set a time frame for yourself?
Well, you got to read the game, Gordy. When we down at GW and we were down 1-0 going into the second half, we figured, hey, if we didn't get something happening in the first 15 minutes, it was too important a game. We're going to make a move real early. You know, you're in a kind of like, well, you're in a tournament situation where you can't afford a loss, going to be knocked out. So they have stopped putting pressure on East Brunswick's goal. I think it's time right now to try and make some kind of move. And again, we're not trying to second guess them as much because, you know, it's a lot easier sometimes to sit up above the game, away from the emotion and dissect it. Plus, we have a better view from this vantage point, from this height. But I would like to see him press Horsford forward and let Takis get forward to see if they can get in the ball game.
So Bernard Oriole, one of Kennedy's co-captains, plays the ball forward, but it's won by East Brunswick, and Oriole has to play defensively and get the ball away from Gagumis. Here's Horsford. He's got some good ball control in addition to his speed.
Player, yes. I'd like to see him touching the ball, though, up and way forward, where that magic and that creative flair he has would, you know, maybe come off in some quality shots on goal.
Gaffin battling Pereira for the ball. Horsford falls, and it's Thorny. Knocked away by East Brunswick. Here's Tatara with a chance. Played up by de Guzman, but he knocks it out of bounds, and Pepe can't catch up with it. Kennedy throw in. Here's Ted Takis. Mighty throw in. Down the right sideline. De Guzman is there. He's being chased by Karras, and he wheels around.
This is an excellent chance for, well, yeah, he gave it away.
That got called the wrong way, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Tatara backheels it up for East Brunswick. Condorso gives a little bump to Mark Curto. Ball goes out of bounds. Still East Brunswick ball. Less than 10 minutes to play here in the second half. East Brunswick a 2-0 lead. Here's a chance. Gagumas had numbers, but elects to keep it himself. Racing from side to side, coast to coast on the midfield stripe. Gagumas lays it forward for Thorny now with a chance. He lays it forward. Now a chance for East Brunswick. Will Tatar get there first? He does. And Nelson makes a nice save to stop Vic Tatara. And East Brunswick holds at 2-0.
Nelson came out again to cut down the angle, and Vic unfortunately hit the ball right at him.
Here's Dickinson for East Brunswick. Trying to beat Telly Ledoux. Ledoux appears exhausted on the play. He can't give any more chase to John Dickinson. Dickinson retreats now. East Brunswick outnumbering Kennedy 4-3. Montesinos holding and cleared away by East Brunswick. Here's a chance for Gagumas. It's a 2-on-1 and a nice play by Gagumas to give himself the 1-on-1. Can he beat Nelson? No. Another save at the penalty marker for Don Nelson, and a good job by the Kennedy keeper.
Nelson's having a very good match today. He's been strung out 1v1 with East Brunswick players 3 or 4 times and has come up with some very big saves.
Now Hockman comes out to make a big save and clears the ball away from Montesinos, who this time did not collide with Brandon Hockman.
Well, Takis is pressing himself forward now.
Horsford carries, looking to generate something for himself. And I think they'll whistle a handball. Here's Horsford again, forward. Looking to get something going for Kennedy. He plays it in for Montesinos, who will not get there. Thorny guides it for Hockman, who whips it up near the midfield stripe for Tatara. He's got some room. He's being chased by Ted Takis, who has simply been all over the field for Kennedy and has done a very nice job. But his team trails 2-0. Here's the flick-on header from Joe Condorso. Here's de Guzman, number 21, along the left sideline. He does a good job by taking the ball away from Rocco Spoon, who made a good tackle, but Kennedy will come away with the throw-in. With about 7 minutes left to play. Here's Joe Condorso, the freshman, number 5, working against Kennedy's number 6, Ted Takis. Horsford gets tripped on the play. It'll be a free kick for Kennedy. Horsford, I think I agree with you, is just a little bit too far back to provide that offensive spark for Kennedy.
They really need, if they're going to get back in the ball game, to push him forward.
Rich de Guzman set to throw it in for East Brunswick.
And I would suggest actually pushing him way forward and putting him right up on Dixon. In essence, almost marking Dixon every time he's on the ball and putting one pressure on him, but at least every time they play a ball forward, you would have some player in the attacking third who could be dangerous every time. And he has the pace, I think, if a ball's played behind Dixon to run by him, because nobody else on the JFK side has been able to do that today.
Here's Rocco Spoon up near the midfield line. Floats it into the East Brunswick half of the field, but nothing doing there, and the Bears control. This is Gagumas all the way back for Brandon Hockman.
Very smart play by Gagumas. With his back to the goal he's trying to go to, why not take a little time off the clock, show some composure.
Now that's a play we might not see in a couple of years. Dickinson playing the ball back to Hockman, who handles it with his hands.
That's what the rules FIFA's trying to get out of there. They're trying to make it so you cannot play balls back to your goalkeepers, or you can play ball back to the goalkeeper, but he has to use his feet when it does get back to him.
And I would imagine that that's going to cause a lot of problems for goalkeepers, who will see themselves getting slide tackled a lot more often.
Well, if he's going to touch it with his feet, he's a regular field player, so. Nowadays, though, goalkeepers have to be very adept with playing with the ball on their feet. I know Billy Andrecki, our goalkeeper, and we get him out on the field training there a lot. Matter of fact, he played in the South Jersey League this summer and was on the field and was one of the leading scorers in the league. So you need to be a goalkeeper. If you're going to be a goalkeeper, you've got to be a field player also.
Battle along the left midfield side for East Brunswick.
They might want to let somebody else take this and push Takis forward.
two men you'd like to see forward are both handling
Both
that.
60 yards from goal.
There's a chance for Kennedy. Curto and Ledoux are there, but Hockman there first. Directing things out of the back for East Brunswick. There's a chance for Takis. He pops it up high in the air for de Guzman. There's Curto in for Montesinos. Tries to lays it off for Ledoux, but de Guzman clears. Kennedy reloads.
He plays it, they're all off.
All four players off sides for John F. Kennedy. Telly Ledoux, Joe Montesinos, John Horsford, and Steve Karras, all off sides. That East Brunswick trap has been a nightmare for John F. Kennedy all afternoon.
Now, the JFK players look like they have their heads down a little bit right now. They need something to get them fired up and back in the ball game. A good chance, somebody get through, put some pressure on the goalkeeper.
Here's Dan Heimlich for Kennedy, working up along the left sideline. He's got some room in front of him, and he continues to hold the ball. And there's Dickinson.
They're playing 4v6 though. They need to get some more numbers forward.
Telly Ledoux had the ball momentarily for Kennedy. And here's Oriole and Takis, who nearly collide. And a chance for Gagumas, who plays it forward. A chance for Condurso, the freshman who'd love to score in a tournament game. He's got a chance. The keeper's out. Nelson makes the save.
Again, a great penetrating ball by Gagumas. And Condurso showing some excellent speed, outrunning the defense. But unfortunately could not get a shot on goal. If you notice again, Hockman was out there very quickly, okay, to defuse that situation. He's had a good match today.
Here's East Brunswick looking for more. They lead at 2-0, and Tatara offsides again. Time running out on Kennedy.
I don't know if they would played him off sides there, or both of them weren't looking at the play, and he just snuck behind him and was off.
Curto plays it forward into the East Brunswick third.
Again, no player in the center of the park. If nothing else, if you put a man up to mark him, he cannot handle that ball freely, and you may cause some confusion for their defense, especially if they're going to play long balls.
Here's Takis for Kennedy. The man who has been consistently dangerous all afternoon now gets the ball poked away by Tommy Gagumas. East Brunswick controls. Here's Gagumas flicking it on for Condurso, who was back playing defense and couldn't get forward in time. Chance for Kennedy. They lay it forward. Ledoux is there. He's got room. And he is knocked down on the play by de Guzman. And he's complaining to the official.
He might have pointed to the spot on that one. There definitely was contact. The referee was close enough to the play to make a call, but he might have had a chance to point to the spot there. Now, unfortunately, lost his composure a little bit there by not having the penalty kick called. And he's run into the goalkeeper.
And that's got to be a yellow card in any book, I would think.
Well, at least he's got to put the ball down for a direct kick situation, and he hasn't. So he's decided in two situations to the referee not to call anything.
This game could get rough in a couple of minutes, but
there's not much time left. So
about only a minute and a half left to play. There's Dave Eunice for East Brunswick working against John Horsford. Here's Tharney for the freshman Joe Condurso. Leaves it back for Eunice, who fires it up. And here's a chance for Tatara, but Oriole's going to get there first and clear it out of bounds. Pepe with the throw in to Eunice, who lays it up for Tatara, working against Rocco Spoon. Spoon clears it out of bounds. Kennedy short on time. East Brunswick will advance to the semifinals of the GMC tournament as they look to defend once again the GMC title. They are co-defending champs with St. Joseph's. East Brunswick this year the third seed. They'll improve to 13-4-1. Kennedy has never been past this round, past the quarterfinal round of the GMC tournament. The last time they got this far, they were beaten by East Brunswick. Kennedy will slip to 12-3-1 in the season.
Now, JFK is a young team, and they have some quality players. It may be, if they won't go on to lose, it's a tough loss for them, and they have. It's a tough loss for them, but they played hard today. I thought Takis was probably the man in the match for them. He was all over the field playing very well. I was impressed with Horsford today with his play in the middle of the park. I think probably Gagumas would be the man of the match. I'm sure you would agree for East Brunswick. Not only scoring goals, but playing quality balls around the park, playing a lot of dangerous balls behind the defense, keeping his composure, and doing a lot of the hard work in the middle of the park for East Brunswick.
So East Brunswick comes up with the victory by defeating John F. Kennedy by the score of 2-0. The first 5 minutes of the second half were the story. Tommy Gagumas, 48 seconds into the start of the second half, to make it 1-0 East Brunswick after a scoreless first half. And then Gumas again about 5 minutes later scores again, beating Don Nelson on a one-on-one. And that is the final score. East Brunswick advances to the semifinal round of the GMC tournament, as do the East Brunswick girls. Coach Bob Reasso, your final thoughts on today's game?
As I said a moment ago, I thought it was a well-played high school game, actually. Tactically with the offside traps, they're making a small, narrow field even smaller. And as I think East Brunswick's senior leadership took over in the second half. They came out in the second half very determined to get forward and get some chances off. When they did get forward, they finished their opportunity, something that JFK was unable to do all day long. But JFK should be able to do some damage, I think, in the state tournament. They proved that they have some quality players, and I was very impressed with both Takacs and Horsford today.
Well, once again, the final score, number 3 seed East Brunswick defeats number 6 seed John F. Kennedy by the score of 2-0. For Rutgers University head coach Bob Reasso, my name is Gordy Deal, and we'll see you next time on Channel 8.